Hi, welcome to this video on the financial reporting matrix. Today I'm going to show you new features from version 8, so let's just dive right in. So the first feature I want to show you is stepped layout. It's something that's been requested that we just added to this version. So the normal expansion of rows is you click on a row and you'll see the next level inside the same column, just listed below. If you go to the format pane and you find row expansion, and then the option called step layout, you can turn that on. Now when you expand, you'll see that the level is just appearing as a separate column to the right, and the deeper the hierarchy you have, the more columns you'll have as you expand on. Under the option of step layout, you'll have some additional options where you can specify if you want to show parent labels. So if you turn this off, you'll see that let's turn it off. You'll see that the label here is no longer repeating, so it's just a blank field until you get to the next parent. If you turn it back on, you'll see that it's repeating for everything. If you have a large hierarchy with many levels, you can specify at which level you want the parent label to start showing. So you could skip it on the first level and then start showing it on deeper parts of the hierarchy. So this is a simple toggle on and off. Another new feature that has been requested a lot is custom measures. Now, if you go into more options on the three meatballs over here and then to edit mode, you get into something that most of you are familiar with. And before, you could right click anywhere in the table. You could add a column before or after. So if I add a column here, it's going to be placed between my existing measures in 2017. I can call this test, and this is going to be actuals minus budget. And then I'll go back to the report. Now you can see test here as a new existing column. It's only present in 2017 because that's where I added it, but it's not anywhere else. So if I click on any other column, filter 2019, it's gone. 2018, it's gone. There it is. Now people wanted to add custom measures instead, so they're appearing everywhere, and we just added that. So now if I'll just remove this one, I can go back in and I can add a measure before or after. There's two options. One is quick calculation, then you give it a title. So I'll just do test again, and then you can pick a measure from a drop down. So you can say actuals minus budget, and then that's fairly simple. And you can now see that test here is now appearing in under every column header. You also have options to format this specific measure in this column style section right here. So you can specify individual background for the measure, and you see it's formatting everywhere. So if I now go back to my report, even though I added this in 2017 like before, it's gonna work in any other slicer selection and update dynamically because now it's treated as a measure. If you want to use more complex calculations, you can also right click and select custom formula, and then you get the same formula field that you're used to. So now you can go over there and you can, like before, you can just click on stuff, and you can also write more complex. You still have the option to apply a style to the whole measure, so I could say that this should be treated as a subtotal, and then whatever that's formatted as will be applied to the whole measure. And also you can go over to the format panel and you can select how you want this to be displayed. So this should give some additional flexibility, some new use cases you can use this for, no longer having to use static custom columns, but now dynamic measures. Treat columns as measures. Now this will be useful for those of you who use calculation groups. In calculation groups, you might just have one measure and you have a column header that specifies what kind of calculation is being done in the column. The calculations and the results are different based on the column header. Now, In previous versions, if you go to edit mode and you try to add a conditional formatting, you see that the conditional formatting is applied to the full measure, so actual by period, which is the name of the measure. And since that's the only measure I have, the formatting is applied everywhere. Now, if we go to this other visual, we have turned on a feature under values. So you can expand on values, you can go to options, and then you have this one, which is fairly long. So, but here, treat columns as measures. And what that does is that it's treating each individual column as a separate measure. So that means that if we go into this one, and I right click on this and I apply conditional formatting, I'll just say I don't care about the values, I just want to format every row of this. I want to apply custom one, which is red font. Then you see it's only applying to this column and none of the others, even though everything is based on the same measure. And in addition, if we then add let's say year on top of this, so on top of the calculations, and we expand, then you see the conditional formatting is still applied to the measures where we added it, so, or to the columns. So month to date, which is part of just my column header, is treated as a measure and formatted everywhere that's present. So this should help a bit when it comes to formatting or specific rules that you want to apply to specific columns when they are based on calculation groups. We also got a request to support images in our visual. Now the visual is certified, so it means it cannot connect to any outside sources. And usually what people do is they add a URL in the visual, and the visual will just show whatever is at the end of that URL. So we'll just download that data and visualize it here. Our visual cannot do that because of security concerns and security rules from Microsoft. So the flag has to be part of your dataset. And the easiest way to do that is to use base65 code. We've added some links here to SQLJason.com. He has a very good explanation on how to break images down to base65 code. So you can follow that step by step to add that to your data sets. And then once you have the data in place, you need to set that data category to image URL. And then you simply add the data field to values. And then you have flags, or it could be any other image. You see the code. If I hover over this, you'll see the code for that particular image. And that's what the visual is interpreting as an image. We've done some changes to export to Excel, mainly just technical things on the export side of it, but also some visual things, because we had some customers that added multiple matrices or visuals on the same page. They had a download icon on all of them, and when they did the export, they got a lot of arrows, export icons, like this one, just repeating down the page. So what we added is this automatic hide icon. Whenever you don't hover over the visual, it's going to be hidden. So when you do PDFs, it's going to be gone. When you go over the visual, it's going to appear, and it's going to work like before. So just a simple change to make the page look a bit better. In addition to these main features, we have some improvements and some bug fixes already. They should be listed on our GitHub page, so you can go over there and look at the releases and release notes. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message on GitHub or our support email. It's going to be linked in the description below. If you want to stay updated on this, then subscribe to the channel and you'll get notified whenever we release something new.